Yes, in the previous chapter, that is nutrition in plants, we have discussed how plants are preparing the food, how they are going to get the nutrition. Yes, so we have already studied in case of the plants that they prepare their own food by the help of photosynthesis, and we have seen different modes of nutrition also there. Saprophytic, parasitic mode of nutrition. Yes. So the next chapter that we are going to deal here is nutrition in animals. Yes, we are going to discuss about nutrition in animals. How the animals are going to get the nutrition. How the animals are going to get the energy. Yes, we can say that as energy there. Yes. So nutrition in animals. Animal nutrition includes nutrient requirement, mode of intake of food and its utilization in the body. So when we use the word nutrition, so this nutrition, what all things are included in this nutrition? Nutrient requirements. We have already studied in the previous class, last year, in the 6th standard I have studied that the components of the food. Yes, components of the food. Which are the components of the food? We have the carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals, then dietary fiber, water, they all come under your nutrients. So, nutrition include nutrient requirement. That means these are nutrients. They are required by our body in different ratios. Yes, that's why there is nutrient requirement. Then mode of intake of food. That means, so these are nutrients, they are present in the food. So how do we take that food? Even that plays an important role. And its utilization in the body. Not just taking the food inside a body, but how to utilize that particular food for the different functions in our body. That is very important. The components of food such as carbohydrates are complex substances. So we already know carbohydrates, proteins. So in them you have all are very complex. One of them is the carbohydrate. It is a complex substance. So these complex substances cannot be used by our body directly. So we can't directly take this carbohydrate. It is a very complex substance. Our body can't utilize the complex substance directly. So they are being broken down into simpler substances. So they are being broken down into simpler substances there. The breakdown of complex components of food into simpler substance is called digestion. So therefore digestion means the complex substance broken into simpler substance. That is called as what? Digestion. Then, as we say, the intake of food. So the mode of intake of food varies from organisms to organisms. We take the food by mouth and we chew it. We usually chew it and then we swallow it. Correct? But when we look at the birds, what do the birds do? They suck the nectar there. They suck the nectar from the flower. In the same way, if you see a snake, yes, most of the snake, they swallow their prey, right? So the intake of food varies from organism to organism. The mode of intake of food varies from organism to organism. Digestion in humans. So now, how does the digestion process takes place in human beings? That we are going to deal here. In humans, the intake of food is through mouth. So we take the food from mouth, we digest and utilize it. The food passes through a continuous canal begins at buccal cavity and ends at anus. So this digestion process, it is a continuous passage process. That means that there is a continuous canal there. Yes. So it starts at your buccal cavity and ends at anus. The canal is divided into various compartments. So this is your complete digestion diagram here. So as I said, the digestion process starts at your buccal cavity. It starts at the buccal cavity and ends at the anus part. Ends at the anus part. So there are 6 different compartments in case of your buccal cavity or the complete buccal cavity to anus. They are being divided into 6 compartments there. The first one being the buccal cavity and the mouth, then or your teeth there. Then we have the esophagus, also called as your food pipe. It is also called as your food pipe there. Then we have stomach, small intestine, large intestine ending in the rectum, and lastly we have anus. So we have basically 6 main compartments: buccal cavity, esophagus or food pipe, stomach, small intestine, large intestine ending in the rectum, and at the last we have anus. So now move on to mouth and buccal cavity. So moving on to, let's move on to the first one, that is mouth and buccal cavity. The process of taking food into the body is called ingestion. So the process of intake of food, whatever the food we take inside, it is called as what? Ingestion. We chew the food with teeth and break it into small pieces. So we chew the food and break it into smaller pieces there. Our teeth vary in appearance and perform different functions. So now what happens? Now you are chewing it. So for chewing, what is helpful there? Our teeth there. So our teeth, they vary in appearance and perform different functions. Yes, our teeth, they vary in their appearance, and as they are differing in their appearance, at the same time their function is also differing there. There are 2 types of teeth. So basically in human life we have 2 types of teeth. First one is the milk teeth and the next is your permanent teeth. When we are talking about milk teeth, so you will be having this milk teeth from the age of 2 to 8, maximum 8. Then these milk teeth fall off and you will get the permanent teeth there. You will get the permanent teeth. Yes, so this is the complete picture of your buccal cavity and different types of teeth here. So you are able to see the lips, the tongue, and in case of your teeth, see here you have premolars, canine, incisors and molars. So see, if you observe here, each one single one, you have premolars, canine, incisors and molars. They are different in shape, at the same time their function is also different. The canine, they are very sharp one. They help you to take the food there. Yes, you break the food properly. Then these premolars and molars, they are very strong, wide. They completely help in the crushing of your food. And these incisors also, they help in breaking your food there. Yes. So, as we talked about the mouth and buccal cavity, so in the mouth there is a saliva production. Yes, we are able to see the salivary glands here. In the buccal cavity down we have the salivary glands. So these salivary glands play an important role. So the moment you take the food inside your mouth and you start chewing, there will be production of saliva. Yes, the liquid substance in our mouth. So this particular saliva, what it does is, the saliva will be having a kind of enzymes there, the juice. Okay, we can say it is one of your digestive juices. So it will be having that enzyme that helps in breakdown of some of your components, such as the complex carbohydrate starch. So it helps to break down the starch into simpler components. Yes. So our mouth has salivary glands which secrete saliva. So you can see here the 2 test tubes. In both the test tubes we have added the starch and then we have added the iodine solution, because iodine test, if you remember, is being done to check the presence of starch there. So in both Firstly, it was like violet color only, or purple color, or dark blue color, you can dark violet color. But when you add the saliva in the first test tube, the color is being changed. The reason is the starch component which was there in this particular test tube is being broken down into simpler components. It is being broken down into simpler components there. So now in this particular test tube, you will be able to see the starch which is being digested. That means broken down into simpler components. But in other one, we have not added the saliva. So you can see here with amylase and without amylase. Correct? So the saliva breaks down the starch into sugars. The saliva has a special kind of chemical in it called as salivary amylase, which help in breakdown of the starch into smaller substances or sugars. So in saliva we have a particular kind of enzyme called as salivary amylase, which helps in breakdown of this starch there. The tongue is a fleshy muscular organ attached at the back to the floor of the buccal cavity. So the tongue, it is being attached at the back of the floor of your buccal cavity. It is free at the front and can be moved in all directions. Yes, the tongue is free at the front. At the back it is not front. It is very free at the front but not at the back side. So you can move your tongue very easily in all the directions. It helps in mixing saliva with the food during chewing and swallowing. So the main function of the tongue is it helps to mix the food with your saliva, and secondly helps you to swallow the food inside. It helps you to swallow the food inside. Just imagine what would be the condition if we are not having the tongue. Unimaginable. Very difficult, right? Yes. So the tongue has taste buds that detect different taste of food. So tongue has taste buds that detect different taste of food. We will be having bitter, sour, sweet and salty. Yes, different taste you have. So when you keep the food material in that particular area, you will find these tastes there. You will find these tastes there. So next we are going to deal with the food pipe. So next we are going to deal with the food pipe, or it is also called as esophagus. It is also called as esophagus. The swallowed food passes into the food pipe once it is partially digested in the mouth. So we are already knowing that food gets partially digested in the mouth by the help of your saliva. Yes, it is being partially digested there. So once it is being partially digested, it enters into the food pipe or esophagus canal there. The food pipe runs along the neck and chest. So we have, just a minute. Yes. So it starts from your neck it runs through your neck and chest there. Food moves downwards in the food pipe by the movement of its walls. So due to the movement of the walls of this food pipe, the food starts slowly coming down. So it will be like to and fro motion of your food pipe, and as a result the food will slowly come down and enters the stomach there. This movement takes place throughout the alimentary canal. So this kind of movement means how this food is being pushed down. It is by the help of the movement of the walls of these esophagus or alimentary canals there. It means you would find this kind of movement in all throughout the alimentary canal there. Yes, you can see here, this is the esophagus or the food pipe. The food is being swallowed, and now with the help of the movement of the inner wall of the food pipe, it is going to enter slowly in the stomach.